Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a while, but let's continue our project. Alright, so I'm gonna log in back to my admin area here. Alright, so let me go to my dashboard and let's go ahead and go to my courses and let's click edit on one of these courses, because we want to do on the curriculum level here, we want to upload video. So we ended on a note where we were supposed to try and see if uploading a video actually works. So let me try on this one here, the very first one here, to try and upload a video. So I'm going to click browse just to look for any video I can get. I don't know if we even have a check to see if it's a valid video at all. So let's see. I'm gonna grab any MP4 file that I find here, and let me click on the save button. Now, one thing I notice immediately is that it doesn't show me a progress bar at all until it says course saved successfully. So this is not good. We are supposed to see a progress bar of some kind. We'll fix that. Now, if it's successful and I refresh my page, I should see that data here. And surprise, surprise, I don't. Okay, so looking at that, let's go to our project and let's go to uploads and see if indeed a file was uploaded. So let's look at the courses here, and if I look in here, there is no MP4 file at all. And let me go ahead. This one is course number 5. The ID is 5. Let me go ahead inside courses meta. Is it courses lectures? Right there. I want to see if I actually saved any data that's of note, and I did not. There's a file section here and it's empty. Okay, so looking at that, it means what the upload process literally failed. So let's go to controllers here and see why. So the admin.php page is obviously where we need to go. Now I'm going to show you how we can actually separate this content, because the code in here is getting too much for one file in the admin section, so we may have to segment it into smaller files so that it's easier to fix when it's time to fix something, because other than having to scroll down like this through multiple stages. All right, so what I'm looking for now is the part where we save, and it's right about, so check for video files right there. That's what I was looking for. And if we look closely at this code, let's see if there is an issue here. Now, usually it's a good idea to simply echo some data in here to see if we actually go through the for each loop, and then you go and echo some data in the if statement there, just so you know that basically we want to find out which path the code actually takes. So I don't want to skip this part, because debugging is very important for coding. If you don't know how to debug, you can't become a good programmer. So here we're just going to put here like so an echo, just so we see that we are going through the for each loop, and we get to see how many times we're going through that. So I'm going to copy this. Maybe I'll put a pipe there like so, so that if there are many times we still see that. Over here I want to see if we're going through this as well. I'll do here 1 like that. Let's see here. This folder already exists, so definitely we're going through here. How about this part where we actually move the uploaded file? Are we going through there? So let's echo something there. Let's put a 2, just so we know there's a difference. So every if statement is accounted for. So I want to see how far we actually go. So let me get back and let's try to upload another file. So I'm going to click on that. Hopefully I can find a much smaller file. Let's see here, any MP4. I'll grab this one. It's probably smaller, I hope, and click save. All right, so this is what it returns. So you see here, and there's here 1, and then it says course saved successfully. So here and here 1 do work, but here 2 does not. So it goes through here, so that's irrelevant. It goes through here as well, so we can remove that. But it doesn't go through here, where the actual part to move the file is contained. So therein lies the problem. And the reason everything else fails is because a file name is never actually defined. It's just an empty string. And because we do check for that, let's see, data new files, empty file name. So we keep adding empty values there because file name is empty. So that makes sense. If it doesn't go through here, nothing in the file department is saved. So let's remove that. At least we know where the problem is. So why is it that this is empty? Because this if statement asks if this is not empty, then we get to go in there, right? So let's look at this critically, right? What's going on here? And therein lies the problem. Okay, so as you can see here, there's files as key file. So these keys, this key belongs to this array and not to this one. And the problem is here we're trying to access a file and a key that belongs to this one here. So this is my bad here. So I don't need this file key. This key part is irrelevant. We can go straight to file name because this is an individual array of files. So let me find all references to this and change it. So there are 3 places there. Let me remove the key part like that. That way we go directly to file name in this case and then save. Alrighty then. This is great. This is great. So let's give it one more push and see if things gonna work out. So I'm gonna refresh there. Curriculum. Click on the browse button. Let's get one MP4 file. I'm trying to look for a smaller file. I like this one. And let's hit our save button. I keep forgetting the save button is at the top. Okay, so course saved successfully. Well, goody then. Let's check our database first. And as you can see, it actually correctly saves the file in there. But wait a second. This is the... Wait. Okay, so that's ID 1, lecture 4. Is it lecture 4? Oh yes, it is. Okay, so things have saved properly. But do they read properly? Oh yes, they do. Look at that. Awesomeness. So now I can refresh this and add some more content. Awesomeness. Let me browse here and add a different file entirely. Let's see, I have another Paw Patrol here. Paw Patrol. That's what my son always says. Okay, where is that? Oh, it's right next to the other one. Let's try and hit save. What I'm trying to see here is if this won't get replaced or anything like that. Let me save over there. Course saved successfully. That is crazy. Alright, now let me refresh the page. See what I see next. And... bummer. Look at that. So it replaced the first one again, instead of adding to the other one. So let's see what's happening in the database, right? So it replaced that, which is not cool at all. So let me see how the files are being handled in the... So in here I do have 2 files. The other one was not deleted at all. So not cool. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna delete those MP4s later, but at least we see we can do this. Now I want to confirm that I put this one on lecture 1 because I wasn't paying much attention last time. Let's see here. I'll open that and let's go ahead and save. Let's see. There we go. Let me see if it goes to lecture 1, and it doesn't. So it keeps replacing the first one. So this is a problem right there. So let's see. What is this key? Okay. There is a key. I guess that makes sense. Lecture data new files. I think the key here is the problem. So we need to know. Let me see where this is being used again. So I'm just gonna select all instances of this. Okay, so there's key 2 here. There's lecture data as key 3. Where is key 2? Key 2 is here, and where does that come from? So lecture data. This is where we actually save the file. Save to lecture table, right there. So there's a UID there, and the title. So we need a way to identify if there's a file in there. Is this array file is equal to lecture new data. So where does this key 2 come from? And key 3. Okay, key 3 is through the loop, so that's fine. But where is key 2 coming from? So let's find that out. I'm gonna do a find here for key 2. Okay, so key 2 is inside this loop for each rows as key 2. And where does rows come from? Rows comes from here, inside metadata. Okay, so if not empty metadata, let's find where metadata comes from. Okay, so metadata comes from there, and then there's a main key over here. Alright, and then there's a sub key. Okay, for sections, good. Lecture data files. I want to look for how exactly lecture data descriptions is set up, because these guys are right next to each other in the table. So description and file, they pretty much work the same. So let me find how description works. So when we add metadata descriptions, we add a main key and a sub key over there. Okay, so why not the same for this? What is going on here? So file, let's see, new file lecture, there's a number there, and the curriculum, pretty much key. Okay, I'm missing something here. This is not the key I'm supposed to be using. I'm supposed to be using a different key. And in this case, I think the key is this main key and sub key. So these guys are not... Okay, hold on a second here. I want to find out where I create this sub key and main key. If we go higher, where do these come from? Oh, okay, so there's main key and sub key right there. Okay, so this is the thing here. Curriculum, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. Description. All right, so let me grab this right there. I'm gonna grab that. We need to follow the same process. So copy that, and let's come down. So there's key there. Okay, and there should be a sub key as well right there. Okay, so that's what I'm missing, a sub key. So main key is here. There we go. So it replaces whatever is here, and sub key. Description, curriculum. This is okay, so there's key there and sub key. I need to reevaluate this a little bit. New lecture _ curriculum. So the problem here is that I really don't remember what's inside key or main key or sub key anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'll leave these as they are. Since these are representing key here, we are replacing to make main key and sub key. Let me just give it a try here and see if this is going to work as it did for the others. Let's copy that and put sub key. Now, of course, this is not a description. This is supposed to be new file lecture, and then curriculum, description. Let me see what's written here on the input of this one. So I'm going to inspect this element. Just a reminder of what's going on here. I'm looking for the input. Let's see here. There's an input. There's a div over here. There's an input there. Description lecture 0. Then there's file lecture curriculum. Okay, description lecture, file lecture. Okay, so the difference of this one is just this one has file at the end here. Like, wait, that's not what I'm looking for, is it? Curriculum. Anyway, in any case, let me just see what happens. So if nothing good comes of this, then we will investigate a bit more. So I'm gonna go to the second video part here. Let me just click save one more time. So I have to click something, edit something roughly, so that the save button can come back and course successful. Let me come back here and see what happened. Okay, so it still replaced only the first one, so things are still not working as intended. Okay, so let me do an echo here. I want to see what's inside key. Actually, let me just put that as, and then main key, and then sub key. So let's see what happens there. Okay, so there's all 0, 0, 0. Okay, that looks fine, but it shouldn't be, because this part here is not in a 0 state. This part is, let me find one of these guys here, one input to see what number it's on. There's a video input there, there's an ID. So this one is on, where are the IDs? This is what happens when you take too long on a project, you end up forgetting certain things. Okay, so lecture 4 has 0, 0, 0, that's fine. I'm looking for lecture, this one is lecture 1, right? So let me inspect this right there, and that one has lecture 1, curriculum 0. Okay, and then the file input here has a 1. So at some point I should get a 1 somewhere. So this is not working as intended. Okay. Now, in order to solve this, I have to figure out what I'm doing on the description side. So let's see. Description, lecture, blah blah blah. So I just get a key and put a value. Okay, so that works there. Oh, this is for the lectures. Okay, great. So it works like this instead. Okay. This main key and sub key are not needed. Correctly so. So we only need key here. So the problem is it's not giving me the right number. Even when it's number 1, it says 0, so it always just replaces the 0 index, which is the first item. And that is not good. So I should find out why. On the lecture description, there's a key there somewhere, and this key in this case is this one. So I think this is where the problem comes in from, because that key I'm getting is the one I'm trying to replace things from, which should not be the case. If pragmatch key files as key. Oh yeah, no, it's actually true. Let me echo the key. Let me see what is contained there first of all. So I'm gonna do key echo dot like that. Since we're trying to get these items from the key, it's just good to see what it has to offer. So let me add one more file here and see what we get. Oops, what has happened? Open and let's save. Okay. Alright, so this is good. This is the key right there. Okay. And it's a lecture 1 curriculum 0. So let me copy that because I'm going to need that data for reference. Let me paste that. So this is where we're supposed to get our stuff from. So it's curriculum 0 and lecture 1. So in this case, it should be a 0 here, but a 1 over there, I guess. Or yeah, because the lecture data 1, I think it should be a 1 there. So when I do replace this like so, let me grab this here and try my regular expression, paste it there. So once I replace that, I get a 0 over there, okay, which is correct. But then the sub key, now I need to get the file lecture, this part here. So how do I do that? So this is always a 0, and that will be a 0 as well. But let me see how we retrieve this data afterwards. So I'm going to do this, find that, let's come down here. So debugging is very tedious work, as you can see here. Yeah. So the key here, lecture, there's key 2 and key 3. So we are looping through this for lecture data. So it's lecture 0, I know. So there should be a 0 correctly. But here should be a 1 because this is lecture 1 on this second part. Okay, so I understand now. Alright, so going back here, it means we have to find a way to extract this number here on the second part for this sub key. So we do need a sub key over there. So let's see how we can generate a sub key. So let me see where we are generating sub keys. I'm going to grab that just as a starting point and I'll put it here. Okay, let me remove this. I don't need that anymore. Okay, so we put on our thinking caps here. how do I get this sub key from key? And we know that key is this text right there, right? So I need to replace something in order to remain with this one over there. So of course I need to replace this part here at the beginning, right? Let's grab that. And we also need to remove this. Okay, so how do I grab? In fact, I can probably just tell it to grab a number that is between these two, between two underscores like this, right? But since we have this value here, we need to know what to replace to remain with that. So this one here was telling us description, curriculum. Let's start with that. Let's replace all of this. This is lecture 1. Let me grab this, replace that at the beginning. So I'm gonna go like this. Okay, so we replace that at the beginning with nothing. So once we do that, we have this part remaining. So now I'm going to get the first number here and ignore the rest. Yeah. But we are doing a string replace, so let's replace everything else except that. So I'm going to copy this and duplicate it one more time and say sub key is equal to preg replace, and this time we're replacing this at the end, right? Let me put 0 to 9 plus and then a $sign. So we're replacing at the end like so. Let me remove this beginning thingy. So we're removing that, and we're getting this from sub key instead of key. And let's try that. Okay, so let's see if that solves the problem. So we test and test until we get it right. So move down here, let's save. Okay, the course was saved, but was it? Let's browse and see. It wasn't saved at all. Okay, so what I want to do now is see what I have saved in this data. So I'm going to grab this. Over here I'm going to do show this data like so, and let's try and save one more time. I'll edit something just to get the save button on. And once we do that, this is what we have. So we have 0, 0. This is not good because we should have a 1 here instead. So that isn't good. Now let me echo sub key again. Or instead, let me do show sub key over there after it is done. So let's do this again. So the file that I have added, browse again. Let me add a new file. Come on, come on, come on. Let's save. Okay, so this one leaves a 0. So that's where the problem is. We're still getting that 0 there, and we shouldn't. So why is sub key giving me a 0? So what I want to do is see what sub key is the first time I create it. And then after I replace this, let's see what it has. So we go step by step, just like that. And I'm going to click there again. We'll keep adding a file until we get it right. Save. Okay, so there's a 0 at the beginning and a 0 then. This is insane, isn't it? Because key... right. Okay, I do understand now. I see. Okay, so because key, at this point we've replaced all of these and left with a 0 there. So that's where the problem is. We're replacing the original key there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is change this to say main key like that, and then put main key there. That way we don't replace the original key itself. That way we can still use it over here and get some more over there. Okay, so we'll leave that main key and then sub key. I'm confident this time it's gonna work, so let's give it a shot. Let's go down here, browse. So please remember, don't get frustrated with debugging. This should be, make this your most fun part and you'll be a good programmer. Okay, so let's try again. Now we're getting somewhere. Look at that. It actually pointed to the right thing. So now if I refresh the page, I should get 2 videos, one here and one there. But looks like it's the same video. But regardless, this is good. Let me browse here and add the old video here so that we have at least 2 different videos. Let's try that. I'm gonna refresh. And let's get back. So there's a different video here and another one here. So things are working as intended. Very good. Very good. So we still need to be able to delete old videos that are not needed so that we keep track. We don't overshoot our space on our server. Okay? Delete what's not needed. Alright, so at least now we can upload videos. And also we need a progress bar. We need to see that progress bar. For some reason it disappeared. So we're gonna need to put that back. Alright, I'll see you in the next video.